taking a look at your resume. There's not a whole lot here. I don't. Is there anything? But I do see here that you were in the Marine Corps. Care to tell me a little bit more about your experience in the Marine Corps and what would make you the best candidate for this position?
You want me to tell you what I did in the Marine Corps? I'd really rather not. I kind of need this job. Welcome to the Mac and Clay Show, another episode. We're going to do these more often, once a week. We'll try to hit these up, and we're going to change the format a little bit. We're going to try to make these a little bit faster, a little bit more current, and who knows? We'll see where it goes. We'll see what the audience engagement is like, and we're going to start having some guests. We actually have close to like 10 people lined up already, and I only posted one post on Instagram asking for people who are interested. So that's pretty cool. So we'll kick things right off with a current event. We're going to talk about some current events first, some things that are going on in the news right now, and give you our take. So Clay, what is our first current event?
So, everybody knows how Hollywood's been taking all this stuff, right? So, find it kind of interesting that Tom Cruise decides to go on like a 2-minute rant, chewing people's ass all over two people standing too close to each other on his set. Now, evidently, he's taking this Corona stuff very seriously, and he is the tip of the spear in Hollywood getting back to work, so they can pay their bills and they can pay their mortgages.
Because that's what we're all worried about how Hollywood is doing.
Yeah, I know. Like, who gives a shit legitimately, right? Okay, we've got plenty of movies that have been made for the past 100 years. Like, it can come. The movie theaters aren't even open for the most part. Like, whatever. But so some of the things that he said to this group on the set, we're creating thousands of jobs, you motherfuckers. So he's doing his part.
Well, it's always good to condescend when you're trying to prove your points.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's had some good rants in some of his movies, like Scorched Earth, motherfucker. That was one of the best lines, the best time he's ever chewed anybody's ass.
Oh, Tropic Thunder?
Yes. I'm talking Scorched Earth. That's the best thing.
He came out of nowhere because I was starting to lose a little interest in Tom. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Top Gun is still one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies since I was young. I mean, I had uncles who were in the Navy. Fighter pilots was something that I was very interested in when I was young. And so that movie still holds out. And, I shed a few tears every time I see Goose cry. So Tom will always have a small place in the corner of my heart for that. And when we got to The Few Good Men, I thought that, Colonel Jessup should have crawled across the whole jury panel there and just beat the shit out of him.
I'd have strung his ass up.
He dropped significantly.
Yeah.
Then Mission Impossible's got some fun, some cool movies. Obviously, it's all over the place as far as reality, but pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that he does his own stunts. Now, I think we probably have a little bit differing opinion on Tom Cruise on this just because of our different experiences. So I've worked in the broadcast industry for a long time, and I understand the crew side. And the funny thing about broadcast and Hollywood is the actors, the people in front of the camera, are called the talent. But when you work as a crew member, we always joke about talent being behind the camera. Everybody that makes it possible to produce these movies, make these sports events happen, live TV, all this stuff, there's so many people behind the scenes that you don't see. And that's who Tom Cruise was laying into. That's whose ass he had a mouthful of.
Yeah.
And when he was talking about thousands of jobs, when you watch the credits of a movie, how many names roll by?
Ton.
Yeah, it's the cast.
Yeah.
It takes about 30 seconds. And then for the next 10 minutes, you see everyone that had anything to do with that movie.
The background.
And that is the backbone of Hollywood. Yes, the fame, the actors, all those people are who are constantly in the limelight and get seen, but the immense workforce that is Hollywood sometimes gets lumped into the bad rap of these out of touch actors who have no fucking clue what the rest of the world actually experiences because of their fame, their wealth. And they believe that because of their fame, that somehow makes them more credible. And the rest of us laugh. And
Well, evidently he's executive producer, so I guess he can do whatever he wants, right? I mean, that's the head honcho there, right?
He would be one of the big wigs. Yes, he's not just the camera or not just the talent. He's making it all happen. So I know that he produces a lot of those movies. So he's the reason that movie is even happening. So I guess he gets to call the shots.
Yeah, I get his passion, and if he is truly trying to keep everybody at work, like if one person gets the Rona there, it'll shut the whole thing down for 2 weeks, right? Like, so I get it. I understand where he's coming from, but I don't know. Just his entitled opinion of himself, just it's not relatable.
No,
not relatable.
Well, and I think it stems back to leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could
he's
probably
the leader. Like, I mean, some people take it serious, some people don't. But I get his point. If everything's shut down, nobody can work. But his approach sucked. So good initiative, bad judgment time. I can do better next time.
So that's our 2 cents on fucking Tom Cruise.
Yeah. And Days of Thunder was my favorite. I just need to throw Days of Thunder was my favorite movie that he was in, hands down. I watched that thing.
Yeah, so when my wife and I were first dating,
Days of Thunder.
I had asked her if she had seen Top Gun or Days of Thunder, and she hadn't seen either. So the very next date, brought her to the house, sat her in front of the TV, and this was back in the day. I had one of those big 55-inch rear projection, huge monstrosity TVs.
Wait about 4.
Oh yeah, the thing was gigantic. It took me and my brother all of our effort to get that thing to the front door. And then I built this ridiculous stereo system all the way around it with a 15-inch subwoofer on the floor. And I'm sure she was like, what? No, you need the full experience. When an F-14 flies by and buzzes that goddamn tower, I want you to feel it.
Goddamn son of a bitch.
So I had the stereo turned all the way up. I'm sure pictures would fall off the walls.
So on the second date, you went straight to Netflix and chilling, just back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, this was back when Netflix was sending you DVDs.
Yeah.
However, I'm not gonna lie, I owned Top Gun and Days of Thunder on DVD.
Yeah, me too. Don't judge. So next, we got an officer though, right? An officer that give another officer an award for doing something that we had to do. I don't know.
Very officer-like.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey, you don't look like you have enough medals on your chest. How about I hook you up?
Yeah.
That national defense is getting kind of lonely. Fucking boot camp ribbon, Army.
Yeah, so First Lieutenant Blaney just received an Impact Army Achievement Medal because she put #PeopleFirst, ! She selflessly volunteered for an overnight duty tonight. And this was on December 22nd. So obviously this is big news because December 22nd that's a horrible day to have duty.
Christmas. What the?
Yeah. So she volunteered for overnight duty tonight, all caps, to replace a trooper who has a family emergency. She did it immediately without hesitation. #This is my squad. #Operation People First. #cohesive teams. #brave rifles.
Brave Rifles.
I didn't know Brave Rifles was a fucking hashtag, but
What is that?
let's trend that. Let's make Brave Rifles trend.
We'll have to look it up first.
So I posted this on Leatherneck for Life Instagram page, and that went pretty wild. We had 163 comments, all kind of tearing into this this Army unit, and it kind of shows the difference between Army, which is has infantry units, but is much more heavily logistical than the Marine Corps. Marine Corps has a large infantry element that has smaller logistical elements that support it. So when you look at, and most Marines who are even logistical, a lot of them tend to be more infantry than Army units, just because of the nature of how the Marine Corps operates. So yeah, 163 Marines chimed in, and
But I think this is, I mean, I don't know if it's isolated to the Army, man. If you got officers that can write, like, they're probably buddies with a major, like, hey, man, you did a great job. I'm going to give you a medal. You know, I'm going to put you in for a medal. Let's hook you up, because they can do that, right? I don't know.
Well, and I read what this is, the Army Achievement, the Impact Army Achievement Medal. So I read about what is the Impact Army Achievement Medal.
Mhm.
It is awarded to any member of the military of the United States, to or any member of the military of friendly foreign nation who on or after 1 August 1981, while performing in any way in the Army in a non-combat field, distinguished himself or herself apart from his or her comrades by meritorious service or achievement of a lesser degree than necessary for the award of, and that word was missing from the paragraph, I guess. General officers may not be awarded this award. So basically, they needed something to pat each other on the back when they were not in combat. This was a garrison only, hey, attaboy, let's stick another shiny piece of tin on your chest to make you feel good about. Problem is, I can see that. I can see, wanting to reward soldiers, Marines, airmen, seamen for going above and beyond, doing something that is meritorious. However, taking some other soldier's duty isn't fit my criteria of meritorious.
I don't even think I'd want that medal, to be perfectly honest.
No.
Like, that's when I'd be like, nah, I wouldn't even wear it. If they rated it and made a formation for to give that, it'd be the most embarrassing thing ever.
Well, that's the interesting thing about medals too, is they're awarded all the time, and they have different reasons for being awarded.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get these hard-charging MFers who do something that the medal itself isn't even enough to recognize what they've done.
Yeah, agreed.
And then you got some cat like this who's, I mean, she's stretching those fatigues out. I don't know what the BDU, what do they call it? I mean, she's barely fitting in those camis is what I'm saying. And she's got this bag nasty salute in this picture, just looking all around like a turd. And I know I'm judging her based on appearance, but appearance in the military is
everything.
The Marine Corps takes appearance pretty seriously, because your discipline and your attention to detail in your uniform and how you present yourself and how your body looks when you're in uniform says a significant amount about who you are and your duty. So she's not looking shit hot. She's looking like shit. And this is not one of those things. I mean, how many times have you stood in formation and you watch someone get a medal? That's the entire unit watching your fellow whoever get awarded for something. And that is, you can't help but form an opinion while you're standing there at the position of attention, watching this this award read, this combination read out loud in front of the entire formation.
Yeah.
And this is what the guys and girls hear their commanding officer read out loud while he's pinning something on this lieutenant's chest. How do you think that is going to come across the rest of the unit? Are they looking at her with a collective pride? This is an awesome leader.
They're back there scheming. Or like, I'm going to take this other cat's duty so I can get that medal too. And then they're going to be severely mistaken whenever they don't get it and disappointed, because officers treat officers different than they treat enlisted. It's a proven fact. Anything, whatever. That's why they have O clubs and E clubs and staff clubs. There's a pecking order in there. And as soon as you realize you're a peon to officers, that they literally don't give a shit about you most of the time.
And that's kind of one of the reasons why we named our YouTube channel The Enlisted Club, due to the fact of the mutual camaraderie between enlisted members of the military.
Yes.
It is a different breed.
I had some officers I love, don't get me wrong, but if you had a bad one, it could make your life horrible. So
For
No
sure.
disrespect to any of my officers. If they watch this, you know who you are. That I love to death. But there's also a couple that I hate pretty bad. So.
Oh yeah, no, our battalion commander was the guy I'd follow into the gates of hell.
Yeah.
Our company commander made our lives hell.
Yeah.
And it was just subtle differences. You know what I mean? It was leading from the front, being an example, earning respect, versus not really knowing what he's doing and demanding respect. It definitely is. So when you're in front of an entire squad, this is my squad, hashtag Brave Rifles. You're up there.
Brave.
Pin and tin on someone's chest. In my opinion, that person better rate it.
And I don't think she did. But
We're making some judgments here, but
yeah.
hey, if you disagree with us, let us know in the comments. If you agree with us, light up the comments. We'd love to hear what you say.
Yeah.
So moving forward, what's our next?
So we're going to finish. Let's see. It was those things. It's Tom Cruise, that, yeah. Then we go into something. The what?
Come on, Scribe. I thought you had this written down. We're talking about the stimulus next.
The stimulus. Oh, God. Maybe I forgot about that because I didn't want to talk about it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I pushed it to the back of my mind somehow.
Yeah.
This
is a touchy subject. And it got me thinking about a new segment I'd like to try to incorporate. And it's called Vocabulary with Matt Garner. And the word for the day is audacity.
Yes.
And we're going to use that word in a sentence. Congress had the audacity to take money from citizens of the United States in the form of taxation, and then decided to give that money back to us as a stimulus. However, they didn't just give it back to us. They took it and gave us, what, even like 5%?
Fraction of
a tiny percentage of it, and then distributed that money that they took from us to other countries, such as Pakistan, for gender studies. So Pakistan could learn the difference between males and females, I guess. We're talking like millions of dollars, so Pakistan could learn the difference between males and females.
I mean, really, in Thailand, all you have to do is a reach around test.
Thailand might need more money than Pakistan to learn about genders.
I mean, you can figure it out in like half a second. You just do a grab test. Like,
now, that stuff might be interesting and important to some people, and I won't discredit that. If it's important to you, awesome. However, I am not volunteering to give money that I earned to have you learn or study that stuff. And if our country is truly in a time of peril, crisis, pandemic, all these big words they like to throw around, then why is all of the money not going to Americans? And I'll back up even further. I disagree with 100% with any kind of stimulus. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I do. I mean, but if you're going to give it, Canada was giving its people $1,400 a month. Like, if you really want to help people out, help people out. But the way you can help people out now is let them open their fucking businesses. Quit shutting everything down. If you're scared, you're scared. Stay at home. But let these people operate. You can't keep shutting everything. They don't want your damn money. They don't want it back. Most people that I've talked to don't even care about it. They just want to be able to work and provide.
Well, now, if I were in charge, I would have a hybrid version of this. I would say, because I think some people are like, coronavirus doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. They don't believe in it. They fuck masks, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a part of me that feels that way, 100%, especially when it's inconveniencing me or causing me problems with my ability to take care of my family or my general recreation. If I want to go out and have a beer and go to the bar or go watch a movie or do any of the things that I like doing in this free country, and it's being inhibited because the government decided to shut it down, I feel very much like, fuck you. But at the same time, I know people who have lost loved ones. And so I can't discredit the fact that the virus is real and it does kill people. I think we should look into, there's lots of studies out there on who it's killing, and some of these people tend to be already have underlying issues or old or are very overweight. So I think it's time that we take some accountability for our own risk.
Yep.
Guys like you and me, younger children, other people can decide. The government should say, hey, here's who's at risk. Mm-hmm. And then based on your risk factor, if you say, hey, it's way too risky for me to go to work, the government can go ahead and offer a stimulus to those people who it's too risky. Hey, I might be down to chip in some of my tax dollars to say, hey, people who are at risk right now, let's help them out. Yep. People, those of us who...
But people here, people in America,
oh, yeah.
Look, I'm tired of America being the damn, I don't know, charity for the whole world. Let's pay for everybody's everything and let our own people suffer here. Like, I don't pay taxes to send to Sudan or fucking Pakistan, but yet they still do it, right? What is that going to gain us legitimately as a country?
The only money that we send to those countries is in the form of munitions that are being thrown in their direction very fast.
Yep, very fast.
And targeting only bad guys. I'm not saying we just blow up Middle Eastern countries. Don't take me out of context.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
But if we're buying something from them, like, so what are we getting in exchange back? Like, so I don't know.
Well, and I think
give all that money to, they could legitimately, with this last one, you could probably give every American, I don't know, quick math, I don't know, $10,000. You know what I'm saying? For everything. Instead of giving them $600, which $600 won't even cover my motherfucking truck payment. So how is somebody gonna pay their mortgage?
Driving, brother?
Huh?
I know what kind of truck you're driving. I'm driving the same truck.
It's cheaper than yours, though.
No, my truck's almost paid off, man.
Oh well, yeah. Well, I'm not that special. At this point.
Yeah, you touched on a good point. What are we getting in return? Why are we sending this money? And that is what we need to look at. That's where the transparency behind the government needs to be 100% crystal clear, that we can all see what's going on. And where did that bill even come from? It's not like Congress just decided out of the fucking blue to give money to these countries. Someone came up with that idea, then lobbied that idea to someone in the position of power, and I say power with air quotes around it, that has the ability to take this money and then write a bill and then pass it and start sending money for these things. Well, that person who is writing the bill and is approving the money, we should be studying or seeing what is their motivation to do that.
Yeah.
Why are they doing it?
Why is that?
Their personal gain?
Yeah.
Are they somehow included in the monetary gain of sending that money? Do they have friends that are conducting this? Are they getting a commission off some of it? I mean, there's way too much evidence that these congressmen are, having much higher incomes than what the government salary is based on their spending.
And they didn't go without a paycheck this whole year. No. They didn't not be able to go to shows and sell stuff. They didn't. Nothing was shut off for them. So I don't know. I'm not too much of a fan of how they run stuff. So I'll just leave it at that.
as am I. So let us know what you think about that. Do you have any thoughts about stimulus? I mean, we could go on for days about that, but we should probably wrap it up and move on. So one of the other segments that we had talked about doing, and Clay forgot to do his homework. I'm throwing him straight under the bus right now.
Yeah, my bad. I'll push later.
So one of them was anything positive or funny that we experienced within the last week. So I have one of each. The positive side was I noticed that recently, well, over the past couple years, I've been trying to work on my anger. I've got anger issues, and used to just be like almost like righteous anger. Like I felt like the anger that was coming out of me was justified. So if someone did me wrong, whatever came out of me geared at or towards them was warranted. They deserved it. They had it coming. But then the more and more I realized how damaging that is, especially to people who care about. I wanted to get my anger under control and be a little bit more thoughtful in how I conducted myself, a little bit more professional, a little bit more. I wanted to look back on the day and be proud of my self-control. And had an instance yesterday or last week where I was driving down the road and I was going to make a right-hand turn into a gas station, and the person coming down the other direction of the street at me also wanted to turn the gas station. So I had my blinker on and I'm about to turn, and then they just decided to turn right in front of me and cut me off. And so I let them have it. I gave them the horn, and like a long, nice, right on their ass, 3, 4, 5 second blast of the horn, right? So there was no mistaking.
No middle finger.
No middle finger. Just a nice, let them have it with the horn.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, probably would have been damn near smashed into them.
Just for the hell.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, let the cops sort it out. You cut me off. Your car smashed. My truck smashed. I guess we'll be going to court over this one. I did not do that. What I did do is I pulled into the gas station next to the guy, and he got out, and I'm thinking like instantly, I'm like, all right, here we go. You know what I mean? But before I opened the door, I took a deep breath, and I let my brain fast forward to the outcome or the possible outcome of this situation, and decided, what did I want the outcome to be? Did I want it to be 2 dudes rolling around in a parking lot of a gas station beating the shit out of each other? Or did I want to go about my business unaffected and let that just go away? Roll right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I took a second and I hopped out and I started walking towards, and he looked at me and he said, hey man, sorry, I thought you were turning down the street, not into the gas station. I didn't realize I was cutting you off. And I instantly, because I had already diffused myself, I instantly apologized right back to him. I said, yeah, man, I'm sorry I let you have it with the horn. I didn't mean to be a dickhead. And then that was the end of that transaction.
Diffused, done.
Instantly diffused, went about my business, he went about his business, and it didn't escalate. And that, to some people listening, might sound like, yeah, obviously, that's how that would happen. That's not for me.
That's a
That
challenge.
for me was a big deal.
It is. I feel you. I'm there.
Yeah, so I pat myself on the back for that one.
I definitely don't have anything traffic related positive to share, so I'm just going to step out of that one.
Do you have anything
that was
positive?
good. That's an inspiration.
Well, I mean, that's like, we kind of started this show with the intention of being real, being vulnerable, talking about real life shit, with the intention of not just trying to make other people better, but a lot of this is for ourselves. Yeah. This is the Mac and Clay show. This is us kind of looking inward at our character and trying to be better than we were last week.
I need some help with traffic stuff, so I appreciate that. That's truly an inspiration, not only to me, but hopefully to some listeners.
Yeah, so hopefully that, if you had a similar situation that you learned from, that you were aware of, that you intentionally did something different and it worked out better for you, let us know in the comments. The funny one was so I got 2 boys, and 9 and 11, and it was after Christmas. They had all opened their presents, and my youngest son was taking down all the wrapping paper and throwing the trash in the garage. And it was late, and the lights were off, and he's kind of nervous to go down there by himself. And so my wife and I were in the kitchen, and he looks over. He has like the trash bag in his hand, and he looks over his shoulder as he's about to go down the stairs. He clicks on the little light, and he's like, "Mom, is it okay if I flip the middle finger off at the ghosts in the basement to tell them I'm not scared anymore?" And we both started cracking up laughing. I didn't know what to say. He didn't ask me. And she was like, "Yeah, sure, honey.
Go right ahead.
Flip them off. Let them have it." And so he went downstairs, and I'm watching on the corner, and I can see him open the door and like stick his arm into the doorway.
Flip it off before he enters.
Yeah. He's gonna let those ghosts know what he thought of him.
Oh my God.
And I was like, hey man, handle your business. That's how you got to do it. So one of the things about it, we don't encourage our children to cuss or be vulgar, but we also are trying to teach them to make their own decisions and not be up their ass about all kinds of stupid stuff. So
they're boys.
Yeah.
You gotta let them be boys.
They're going to be boys. And that one I just thought was kind of funny. So the last we're going to wrap up with is we'll try to talk a little bit about ourselves, our businesses, because, you know, we're doing this show to try to get a little bit of humor out there, a little bit of positive message, and also, you know, spread the word about our individual businesses that we own and operate and run and put our souls into. So Clay, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so K-Bar Soap Company. It's been around for like 4 years now. Make all natural grooming products for freedom-loving patriots is what I like to say. So got stuff for women, men, got some beard stuff. Be looking in first quarter. First quarter is always my R&D stuff, so I got all the stuff on hand now to start trying to make my own all-natural deodorant because I've had some people request they can do like the whole line. So we're going to do some messing around with that in first quarter and see where that can go. Maybe come out with a cent or two. I try to give back to veteran organizations as much as I possibly can, as we both do all the time. So it's an inspiration. I appreciate everybody's support this year. Find me at K-Bar Soap Co. on Instagram and kbarsoapco.com on the web. So shower with freedom.
Excellent. So for myself, I am one of the owners of leatherneckforlife.com. We make Marine Corps apparel, and we try to do, we strive to set ourselves apart from our competitors in the fact that we are 100% made in the USA. We do high quality embroidery on hats. Don't call them a hat. It's a cover.
Easy.
Yeah. We'll get filleted alive in the comment section. It's funny because Marines love to kind of not poke fun, but also like they question your integrity, right? Like if it's a Marine Corps hat, but you didn't call it a cover, it's almost like, "What, are you actually a Marine?
How dare you?
Yeah.
Stolen valor.
Exactly." And I've had instances of people accusing me of stolen valor, which was funny. But anyways, so leatherneckforlife.com. We've got all kinds of shirts, covers, beanies, sweatshirts. We got some really nice new sweatshirts that we just came out with. They're super soft and nice and thick. And we constantly have new designs coming out. And some of the new designs that we're doing now are a throwback to the history of the Marine Corps. We've got the original Eagle Globe and Anchor that was worn in World War I, which looks very different than the Eagle Globe and Anchor now. Before the Marine Corps had the Marine Corps flag, it was actually the Gadsden flag, the do not tread on me. That was the Marine Corps flag. And it evolved quite a few times, and we've got some shirts that have some of the older Marine Corps flags on the front of the shirt. So we're trying to do some of that. We have some battle lines where it's a map of the different battles in Marine Corps history, which is pretty cool. And we just try to be, I try to have a lot of fun on the Instagram, but we try to keep it very pure and honorable and a good representation of the Marine Corps on our clothing line. So if you are a Marine and you're looking for some fresh hot gear, our new cover, like the one I am currently wearing, check us out, leatherneckforlife.com.
Hell yeah. Solid.
All right, well, that wraps it up for today's show. Next week, we'll be a couple new special guests. I believe we have a drill instructor from Paris Island joining us. And So we'll let you know how that goes. We'll be posting our new comment or our new, what's the word? What our show is going to be about, I guess. You can follow us on Instagram and see what we're coming up with next. And I'll try to tighten these up and make them more entertaining if possible.
We will evolve.
We will be better.
But thank y'all.
Yeah. So again, hopefully took away something good with this, and hopefully next week your life will be a little bit better than it was last week. And Semper Fi to all of you guys. Until next time. Out.